On the night of March 24, 1972, in Laguna Niguel, a small town in California, something happened that shook everyone. It was just like any other night, but a dangerous conspiracy was being hatched inside the United California Bank. Emil Dincio, a very shrewd and professional thief, had prepared with his gang for a big robbery. That night, Emil and his companions managed to break into the safe deposit vault of the bank. It was no ordinary vault. It was kept in the largest and most secure part of the bank. They stole whatever they could get their hands on: cash, gold, and valuables, which was equivalent to about $9 million at the time. If we look at it today, this amount is more than $66 million. This robbery was like a story from a movie: Dark Knight, professional thieves, and theft of crores. When the police and bank officials reached the bank the next morning, they could not believe what was happening in front of them. The bank's vault was completely empty, and the thieves had fled somewhere far away. This robbery shocked the whole country. It was the talk of the town everywhere. How could a few thieves steal such a huge amount of money and goods without anyone even noticing it? The thieves had used dynamite to enter the bank by making a hole in the roof. Emil was not alone in this mission. He was accompanied by his brother James Dincio, his nephews Harry and Ronald Barber, brother-in-law Charles Mulligan, alarm experts Phil Christopher and Charles Brockle. This group of thieves was mostly from Youngstown, Ohio, while Christopher and Brockle were from Cleveland. Emil was the mastermind of this operation. He carried out this robbery along with his brother James, who was an expert in explosives and robbery tools. James handled the technical side of the whole plan. Charles Mulligan was the driver and was keeping watch outside so that if any danger arose, everyone would be alerted. Phil Christopher, who was an expert in this, was responsible for disabling the alarm. He worked with a calmness and precision, as if he had done it many times before. But there was a problem: Charles Brockle. Brockle was the weak link in the operation. Forced into the team by Emil, he was an ordinary thief with no special experience. His role was only that of a muscle man, helping to open the safe deposit box inside the vault. Despite the delicacy of the whole plan, the gang executed one task after another flawlessly. A hole was made in the ceiling of the vault with dynamite. The alarm system was quietly deactivated, and gradually, a huge amount of money, about $9 million, was made. The gang thought they had pulled off the biggest heist, but no one knew what effect this incident would have on their lives. Emil Dincio and his gang cleverly robbed the vault of the United California Bank. But little did they know that their luck was about to change. They had pulled off the robbery so cleverly that the police had no evidence to lead them to the culprits. But a few months later, the same gang robbed another bank in Ohio, and that was when their troubles began. The FBI made a connection between the two robberies. They tracked down the thieves' travel history and found that 5 of the gang members, undeterred, had flown to California on the same flight using their real names. The 6th member, James Dincio, had arrived on a different flight the day before. This led the FBI to turn suspicion into certainty. Investigators then located the townhouse the gang had rented in the name of the Barber brothers. Although a search initially yielded nothing, a small mistake was discovered that changed everything. When the FBI checked the dishwasher, they realized the thieves had forgotten to run it before returning. Fingerprints found on the dishwasher gave the FBI the solid evidence they were looking for. Based on this evidence, federal arrest warrants were issued for all the thieves. Soon, Emil Dincio and his entire gang were arrested. Although only some of the money was recovered, the thieves were punished for their crime. The strange part of this story is that such a large and clever robbery was ultimately unraveled because of one small mistake: not running the dishwasher. When Earl Dawson decided to help the police against the gang and testify in court, he had no idea that his own brother would try to turn him away. Earl's brother, Harold Dawson, was willing to go to great lengths to stop him from testifying. He offered Earl money to change his testimony or recant altogether, but Earl turned down his brother's offer, knowing that he would have to keep his composure to face the truth. For his safety, he was placed in the witness protection program, where his name and identity were changed. Charles Brockle, another man involved in the case, had received immunity from prosecution and testified against his fellow conspirators. Brockle's situation was also fragile, and he too was kept safe under witness protection. Now, this fight was not just in the court, but had become a test of his closest relationships and morality.